Have you ever felt the ground crumble beneath your feet? Not from an earthquake, but from a truth so devastating that it shakes the very core of who you are? Discovering that the person you love, the one you trusted with your whole heart, has betrayed you through infidelity is exactly that kind of quake. It's not just heartbreak, it's betrayal trauma. A wound so deep it can blur the line between body and mind. People often describe it as a storm of emotions: anger that burns hot, sadness that feels endless, grief that lingers like a heavy fog. For many, the body responds as if it has survived a car crash: insomnia, panic, even symptoms that mirror post-traumatic stress disorder. And yet, here's something you must know. None of this means you're weak. These reactions are your brain and body's natural way of screaming, something catastrophic just happened. In those first moments, the temptation is to react, to scream, to leave, to post the truth online for the world to see. But the hardest and most powerful thing you can do is pause. That pause isn't weakness, it's strength. It's the first act of survival in the aftermath of betrayal. Because from that pause begins a journey of choices: to stay, to leave, to heal, to rediscover who you are. This is not just a story of betrayal, it's a story of resilience, and it might just become your story too. Imagine this: you're scrolling through your partner's phone late at night, not because you're suspicious, but because you're looking for a photo you both took on vacation. And then, there it is. A message. One sentence that changes everything. "I can't stop thinking about last night." In a single moment, the world tilts. Your chest tightens, your hands shake, your heart pounds so loudly it feels like everyone around you must hear it. You want to scream, to throw the phone, to demand answers right now. Some people collapse into tears. Others feel a rush of rage so powerful it's almost blinding. That's the thing about betrayal. It hijacks both the mind and the body. But here's the paradox. The very first and most powerful step isn't to act, it's to pause. That pause isn't weakness, it's survival. Because when you're in shock, your brain is flooded with adrenaline and cortisol. You're not in a state to make life-altering decisions. Acting in that moment, whether it's ending the relationship on the spot, posting about it online, or storming out, can create scars that last longer than the betrayal itself. So what should you do in those first 48 hours? Focus on protecting yourself. If the affair was physical, book a doctor's appointment and get tested for STDs. Keep your body nourished. Eat, drink water, rest. Find safe ways to release the tidal wave of emotions. Write in a journal, paint, cry into music, or talk to a trusted friend who won't judge or pressure you. But be selective. This is not the moment to announce your pain on social media, where judgment and gossip can magnify your wounds. And most importantly, resist the impulse to make big decisions right away. Don't rush to break up. Don't confront your partner in public. Don't retaliate by cheating back. Those choices belong to a calmer version of you, the one who has reclaimed clarity after the quake has passed. After the shock begins to fade, a single haunting question usually takes center stage. Why? Why did this happen? For many betrayed partners, that question quickly turns inward. Was I not enough? Was I too boring? Too busy? Too unattractive? Let's pause right here. That line of thinking feels natural, but it's built on a false assumption that someone cheated because you failed. The truth is far more complex. Infidelity is not a reflection of your worth. It's a mirror of the internal struggles of the one who strayed. Experts like Esther Perel call infidelity less about running away from you and more about running toward a lost version of themselves. Sometimes an affair is a desperate attempt to feel alive again, to reclaim freedom, or to connect with an identity that feels buried in the routine of everyday life. Other times it's driven by different forces: a craving for novelty, the rush of something new, low self-esteem, where validation from someone else feels like oxygen, fear of conflict, too afraid to voice needs, so they seek fulfillment in silence elsewhere, old wounds resurfacing like childhood trauma or insecure attachment patterns. And here's the paradox. Many cheaters don't walk away feeling triumphant. They wrestle with shame, anxiety, even self-loathing. They too are caught in a web of contradiction, doing something that violates their own values, yet unable to stop. But it's not only about the individual. Relationships themselves can carry vulnerabilities. Unresolved conflicts that never get repaired emotional disconnection that grows wider with time, or poor communication that leaves both partners unseen and unheard. Understanding these layers doesn't excuse the betrayal, but it does one powerful thing. It shifts the weight off your shoulders. It reminds you that you didn't cause this. Their choice was theirs. Their pain, their struggles, their avoidance, it belonged to them. And once you can see that, you stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking, "What do I need to heal?" There comes a point when silence is no longer an option. You've sat with the shock, you've cried, you've raged, maybe you've journaled, but eventually the question becomes, do I confront them? And the truth is, yes. If healing is to begin, whether together or apart, the conversation has to happen. But how you have it can determine whether it opens a path forward or deepens the wound. First, preparation matters. This isn't a battle to win, it's a moment to seek clarity. Before you sit down, ask yourself, what do I want from this conversation? Is it the facts? Is it an apology? Is it a chance to decide whether to stay or leave? Going in without clarity can turn it into a shouting match, and if possible, have proof, messages, receipts, evidence, because denial and cover-ups are common when betrayal is exposed. Second, the setting is everything. This is not a fight to pick in a crowded restaurant or to throw across the kitchen table while kids are listening. It deserves privacy, a neutral space, a time when both of you can actually listen without rushing out the door. Creating that environment communicates something important. This is serious. This is sacred. This moment matters. Third, your words are your power. Instead of saying, "You destroyed our marriage," try, "I feel devastated and betrayed by what happened." These I statements keep the focus on your emotions instead of triggering immediate defensiveness. They don't let your partner off the hook. They force them to face the impact of their actions without turning it into a blame game. Now about the questions. In the beginning, stick to the basics. Who was it? When? Where? You need the ground under your feet before you can explore the why. But be careful. Asking for graphic, intimate details might feel urgent in the moment, but they can burn images into your mind that you'll replay again and again. Protect yourself. Seek the truth, not trauma. And finally, require full disclosure. Secrecy is poison. If your partner wants even a chance at rebuilding, honesty has to replace hiding. That doesn't mean cruelty, but it does mean transparency. Answering questions without defensiveness, without twisting the story. This conversation will likely be one of the hardest of your life. But if you approach it with preparation, clarity, and calm, even in your heartbreak, you create the possibility of truth. And truth, however painful, is the only ground solid enough to build healing on. Healing paths, reconciliation, or moving on. When the confrontation is over and the first waves of anger and grief begin to calm, you arrive at a crossroads. Two paths lie before you. One is the long, uncertain journey of reconciliation, and the other is the equally difficult but liberating path of self-recovery and moving on. Both require strength, both demand courage, and neither is easy. Path 1, reconciliation, the hard road of rebuilding trust. Some couples choose to stay, but let's be clear, staying is not the easier choice. In many ways, it's harder, because reconciliation is not a moment, it's a process, often lasting months, even years. Dr. John Gottman, a leading researcher on relationships, describes this process in 3 phases: atone, attune, attach. Phase 1, atone. This is the foundation. The unfaithful partner must take full, non-defensive responsibility. That means no excuses, no shifting blame, no, it didn't mean anything. They must express genuine remorse, cut all contact with the affair partner, and provide complete transparency. That might mean sharing phone passwords, calendar access, even changing jobs or social circles if necessary. Yes, it feels restrictive, but it's the only way to create safety. Without safety, healing cannot begin. Phase 2, attune. Once safety is established, the couple must turn toward each other again. This phase is about emotional intimacy, learning to listen, to ask open-ended questions, to validate each other's inner worlds. It means setting aside time not just to discuss logistics, kids, bills, schedules, but to actually connect. How are you feeling today? What's been on your mind? Slowly, empathy grows where resentment once lived. Phase 3, attach. This is the long-term rebuilding of trust. It's not about words, it's about consistent actions. Does the unfaithful partner's behavior align with what they promise? Does the betrayed partner allow themselves, little by little, to let go of constant suspicion? Forgiveness doesn't happen overnight, but through repeated honesty, reliability, and vulnerability, a new bond can be forged, one not defined by betrayal, but by resilience. Reconciliation is grueling, but for couples who commit to this process, the relationship that emerges can paradoxically become stronger than it was before, not because betrayal was worth it, but because both partners rebuilt consciously, brick by brick. Path 2, self-recovery and moving on. Reclaiming yourself. For others, the decision is different. They choose not to stay, and that too is an act of courage, because ending a relationship after betrayal is not just leaving someone else, it's reclaiming yourself. The first truth to accept: their affair was not your fault. Their choices were born of their own struggles, insecurities, or wounds. That doesn't erase your pain, but it does free you from carrying their blame. The second step is rebuilding your identity. One powerful practice is journaling, writing down your emotions, your triggers, and your small victories each day. Another is the Epic You list, a record of your strengths, talents, and accomplishments. On days when self-doubt creeps in, this list becomes your anchor. And then there's self-care. Not the Instagram version with bubble baths and face masks, though those can help, but the deeper kind. Rest, nutrition, exercise, time with friends who remind you who you are, pursuing hobbies or passions you put on hold. Every small act of joy is a stitch in the fabric of your healing. Grieving is part of this path too. Allow yourself to feel it all: the sadness, the anger, the longing. Grief is not weakness, it is proof that you loved deeply. Eventually, a new challenge arises: trusting again. This is terrifying for many, but essential. The key is remembering: a new partner is not your old one. They deserve the chance to earn your trust, and you deserve the chance to receive it. Open communication and clear boundaries lay the foundation for relationships that don't repeat the past, but build a new future. The common thread: whether you choose to reconcile or to move on, both paths share one truth: healing is not passive. It is work. It requires daily choices to protect yourself, to grow, to believe that betrayal is not the end of your story. It's the start of a new chapter, one written with resilience, courage, and above all, self-love, professional guidance, and lasting growth. Even the strongest people can't always carry betrayal alone. The wound of infidelity is deep. It touches not just the relationship, but the very core of identity and self-worth. That's why professional support isn't a luxury. It's often essential. For individuals, therapy provides a safe, structured space to process the chaos. A skilled therapist helps you untangle the whirlwind of emotions: anger, grief, shame, fear, and rebuild a sense of self. Therapy isn't about erasing the pain overnight. It's about giving you tools to manage it, to regulate your emotions, and to rediscover your worth beyond the betrayal. For couples who want to attempt reconciliation, couples counseling can be life-changing. Models like the Gottman Method or emotionally focused therapy, EFT, give partners a roadmap: how to communicate without escalating, how to repair after conflict, how to reestablish trust step by step. In the presence of a trained guide, the impossible can become possible. A relationship once shattered can begin to mend. But professional help is only the beginning. The deeper work comes from within, choosing to grow from the pain instead of being defined by it. Infidelity can become a brutal but undeniable catalyst for self-discovery. It forces you to ask: what do I really need in love? What boundaries must I protect? What values are non-negotiable for me? When you answer those questions honestly, something powerful happens. Betrayal no longer defines you, it refines you. You emerge with clarity, with resilience, with a stronger sense of self. And that is the lasting gift hidden in the devastation: the chance to build a life that is more authentic, more intentional, and more deeply rooted in love. Love for yourself first, and for others who prove worthy of your trust. Finding your way forward. Infidelity may feel like the end of your world, but it doesn't have to be the end of your story. Betrayal can break you open, but sometimes in the breaking, you discover a deeper strength you never knew you had. Whether you choose to rebuild with your partner or to walk away and reclaim yourself, the path forward is one of resilience. Healing isn't quick, it isn't clean. Some days you'll feel like you're moving forward, Others like you've fallen back into the pain. But every step, every journal entry, every therapy session, every boundary you draw is proof that you are moving, proof that you are alive, proof that you are worthy of love and safety. And here's the gift hidden in betrayal. It forces you to define who you are and what you deserve. You are not the sum of someone else's choices. You are the author of your next chapter. So I want to leave you with this. Take a breath, reflect on what resonates with you. And if this story spoke to you, share it. Because healing isn't just personal, it's collective. Someone out there needs to hear that resilience is possible, and your voice might be the one that lights their way.